Well, guys, thanks for joining us today. Today we have a special guest with us, the Director of Social Services here in Shenandoah County, Beth DeLullo. Yes. Beth, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having us.
And Rachel Taylor, who is a Child Protective Services Specialist.
Supervisor.
Supervisor,
yes.
Okay, Supervisor. And we're going to talk a little bit about child abuse. I know April is Child Abuse Prevention Month.
It is.
So let's talk a little bit about child abuse in Shenandoah County. And I guess one of the things that I think people want to know is how common it is in Shenandoah County. So if you guys have any insight on that.
So in 2023, we received about 1,025 concerns of suspected child abuse or neglect. Fortunately, not all of those met the criteria for us to respond. And we actually had about 316 referrals that did meet the definition and the criteria for us to initiate a family assessment or an investigation.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the criteria that you look at when you receive one of those complaints?
Yeah, so there are 4 criteria that the state requires for us to be able to initiate an assessment or an investigation. The first one is that the alleged victim must be under the age of 18 at the time that we receive the report. The next one is that it has to meet the state's definition of abuse or neglect. Mm-hmm. So, there are a lot of different thoughts and ideas about what abuse and neglect looks like, but we are really specifically looking at, what the state provides us to be able to assess whether or not something is, in fact, abuse or neglect for a child.
What types of abuse and neglect do you see in Shenandoah County that's most prevalent?
So the state definitions and the code sections that we have to follow are include definitions for physical abuse, physical neglect, medical abuse and neglect, mental abuse and neglect, sexual abuse, and substance-exposed infants. And in Shenandoah County, we actually see all of those. We see a wide variety of different types of abuse that are taking place.
You said there was over 1,000 of these complaints initially. What happens if a complaint does meet this criteria? What happens after that?
Yeah, so once it meets the criteria, we do assign it to a family services specialist, and they make contact with the family. So they'll talk with the children, they'll talk with the parents, they'll talk with any other caretakers of the children and anyone else who might have information about the abuse or neglect that took place. And then the family services specialist also complete home visits to the environment where the children are residing. And at the conclusion of those, all of those interviews, we're offering services and community-based resources to support the family.
Okay. And conversely, Rachel, if it does not meet the criteria, then what happens at that point?
So if it does not meet criteria, we don't have the authority to make contact, to go out and speak with the children and with the caretakers. There are times in which we can contact the parents and offer community-based resources to, again, further support their families.
When you're getting these complaints, what do you think is the most common type of complaint for families and issues that families in Shenandoah County are having?
The most common complaint we receive is for neglect, not for abuse. And it typically has to do with substance use disorder. The parents are struggling with addiction, mental health issues. We also work with families that are experiencing poverty and they need assistance with just meeting their basic needs, housing, food, things like that.
I think we're all dealing with those kinds of issues in my line of work and yours as well. It sounds to me like schools, everybody's dealing with that, doesn't it?
Yes, I agree.
Now, I did want to ask one question. Over 1,000 of these complaints, and was it 300 and some that met the criteria?
Yeah, 316 met criteria.
I mean, that's probably stretches your staff pretty thin, too.
It does.
We're noticing that in our world.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that's happening in your world, too.
Absolutely. We're definitely not adequately staffed to meet the demands.
Well, what about the services that are provided to families when you have these types of issues
Sure.
reported?
So, as you know, all families are unique, so the services are going to be unique to those families' needs. Examples of services would be substance use disorder assessments and treatment, mental health assessments, but we can also refer families for services that we provide, such as SNAP, Medicaid, TANF, and child care, things like that.
Now, what does SNAP stand for?
Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. It's formerly known as food stamps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And people, there's mandatory reporting.
Yes.
Can you explain who a mandatory reporter is and how that works?
Sure. Mandated reporters are certain persons who are identified by the Code of Virginia as being mandated to report suspected abuse or neglect. Examples of a mandated reporter would be law enforcement, teachers, coaches, clergy, and the Code of Virginia outlines. There's probably, I don't know, Rachel, what do you think? Over 20.
I was going to say about 20, 25.
Okay. If someone were to file a CPS report, how would they do that? Is there a procedure?
Yes, they can contact our office, obviously, during normal business hours, but there is a CPS hotline that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that information is on our website at Shenandoah County Department of Social Services.org. And then also mandated reporters, and I didn't mention teachers, or maybe I did. Teachers are also mandated reporters. There is a mandated reporter portal on the Virginia Department of Social Services website, so they can also do it online.
Okay.
Report the abuse. Yeah.
Now, let's see. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month.
It
Do
is.
you guys have any activities for that month?
We do. We have, I don't know, you've probably seen some pinwheels around the community. So we partner with Response every year to plant pinwheel gardens. And then we also have a nice family event at W. O'Reilly Park. And this year it's on April 13th from 11 to 3. We'll have lots of resources there, bouncy house, food, games, all kinds of activities.
Okay.
And again, that'll be posted on our website for more information.
Okay. Okay, guys. Anything we've missed? Anything you want to go into? It's okay.
I can't think of anything. Did you have any other questions for us?
No, I mean, I guess, the one thing that I've noticed, and I'm not sure if it happened, it just seems like it's happened since we opened up after COVID. And I think we touched on this earlier. We're just seeing a tremendous amount of incidents with family issues, drug abuse issues, mental health issues, and I'm not really sure why that's happening. I mean, it's almost like, was it there before and I didn't notice it? Or is it just, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I agree with you, and I've thought about it a lot. It does feel like post-COVID, it is more extreme.
Right.
We're certainly experiencing that as well. The reason for that, I don't have it.
I guess somebody will do some study at some point and let us all know what happened.
Yes.
Because it seemed like we were all doing, everything was just happening. We shut down for about a year and a half. And since we've gotten back up and running, for lack of better words, you're just seeing more and more and more of this stuff.
I agree.
And I'm talking about, just suicides that we're, attempted suicides we're going to, the narcotic stuff that we're dealing with now. What I'm hearing is that we're noticing this fentanyl thing that we're seeing. And we talk about this a lot in media releases that we do and public service information that we put out. Even though the overdose age it's in the adult age group, we're still seeing, or we are starting to see over the last few months, children that are testing positive for fentanyl and various things that, we're connected to. Whether it's something that we're connected to them in court or their families in court. And that's something, to me, that's really scary. And I'm not sure, I tell people this from time to time, there's not enough people in your office to check on everybody at home every night. There's not enough people in my office to check on everybody's house every night. And parents need to know that this is what's happening right now with their families. And I think I just think a lot of people are oblivious to it at this point.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said earlier, I would say probably over 90% of the complaints we get involve substance use disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're seeing it right alongside of you.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right. All right. Well, Rachel, Beth, thanks so much for coming today. And it's great to work with you guys. Unfortunately, I hate it that we have to work on the things we have to work on together. But it's great that we have a relationship with you guys. I know you guys are working hard and trying to help people out in Shenandoah County, the community, and in general, and all the families here. And I appreciate the work that you and your staff do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
We appreciate the work you all do as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for having us.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks for watching today. This is the Shenandoah County Sheriff, Tim Carter, and you can find this podcast and all of our other podcasts on my YouTube channel. That's at Timothy Carter. And while you're there, make sure you click on that like button or subscribe so you get new show notifications. Thanks so much for watching. This is Sheriff Tim Carter. Have a great day.